There have been multiple cases in India where the lower court and high court have found a person guilty of the charge and convicted him or her and put him in prolonged period of incarceration. Then later in the Supreme Court, the same incarceration and the same conviction has turned upside down and the person has been declared innocent by the Supreme Court of India. But by then, many of these victims of miscarriage of justice, they have been in prison for a decade or more period of time. Recently, there was a case from Punjab where a person has been wrongfully convicted and was present in prison for nearly 11 years, after which the Supreme Court has found glaring inadequacies in the investigation process and acquitted the person completely and exonerated him from his punishment. But even though the person has to celebrate that he has not been convicted, but nearly a decade of his life has been completely taken over in the prison system of India. And is there a need for compensating the person who has been wrongfully convicted is a question that needs to be addressed. And if you look at it, the Supreme Court of India back in 1983 itself, in a very famous case by the name of Rudal Shah versus State of Bihar case, has said that right to compensation is part of right to life under Article 21, but till date there is no statutory law which guarantees any compensation to any person who has been acquitted from a said crime. And there are many other cases where a person as an under trial itself will in fact be present in prison for extended period of time because of absence of any bail. Now, we need to look at whether compensation should be provided, whether there is a need for a statutory guarantee for the compensation we need to address here. First and foremost, why compensation is needed means, first and foremost, it will restore the dignity of the person who has been wrongfully convicted. The second important reason is it will stick to the international norms, and currently under Article 14.6 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, compensation is a must. Then apart from that, it will also provide a deterrence for the authorities, because when the authorities are being forced to pay compensation to the person for wrongful conviction, they would be extra careful in formulating the case, investigating the case, and at the same time ensuring conviction of a person. They would be extra careful. This would provide a deterrence to the government. Then the third one is human rights obligations also make us look at the compensation provision to be an important one. Then along with that, even though the person who has been incarcerated for a decade, no amount of money can bring his life back to him, but definitely the money which has been paid as a compensation will help him in social reintegration, primarily because whatever money he gets from the government, he can use it to start some business, as we know that the negative image of being in prison will in fact make him not suitable for many jobs either at the central or state level. Then at the same time, the problems are also too many. First and foremost, there is fear of misuse, and it will also create excessive financial burden on the central government. And at the same time, there are numerous systemic inefficiencies in the current framework or in the current judicial system, because of which reason the compensation is going to become an undue burden on the government. But many other countries across the world, if you look at USA, there is a clear-cut compensation provision. Then apart from that, most of the European countries also have compensation provisions. Maybe India should follow definitely this path and provide a law, a statutory backing for compensating the people who have been wrongfully convicted. This will bring about more fairness, dignity, and also more deterrence to the legal agencies. So all of these things can be achieved through a compensation statute. This is a statute which is much required in the current India. Thank you.